Every single thing comes from China. It's raw materials, most of the boards, they're trying to take the assembly work now. And if relations between our countries ever fall apart and they cut us off, we don't have our iPhones, we don't have the lights, we don't have the cameras, we don't have our microwaves, we don't have our washers and dryers. So much is dependent on a circuit board. And we need to keep that here.
The printed circuit board is like the city, but only the parts that connect the city up. The whole thing works together, which is the roads, sidewalks, the infrastructure of water, power, information. That's what makes the city work. So the printed circuit board takes the dream, the design, and allows that realization to connect all of those components into its connection, to power up each component.
Trying to make my 9 o'clock meeting for our daily stand-up meeting. I feel like a lot of young people don't know the industry just because its peak was probably back in the 80s.
Summit Interconnect is the largest printed circuit board manufacturer privately held in North America. Our facility, 7 of them build printed circuit boards, and 1 of them is an assembly operation.
Good morning, everybody.
Like we said, remakes are down.
We replaced the anti-tarnish in the shadow line with a Inselector product.
AJ is wonderful, up-and-coming engineer. The goal is, let's make AJ a subject matter expert in 3 years that took an old guy 3 decades to do.
My son was majoring in biomedical engineering and chemical engineering. I had been talking to our owner. I had mentioned to him that my son was in his 2nd year in college. From working in printed circuit boards, it's a science to build a printed circuit board.
My coworkers, they started back in the 80s, and there are thousands and thousands of board shops.
And I asked him if there would be any opportunity for him to work a summer and just learn what it's like to work in a manufacturing field.
I just went for it. I loved it. I loved the work that I did. And then, yeah, he offered me a full-time position after I graduated, and I've been doing it for 3 years.
Thank you very much. Be safe out there. This is the dry film imaging room. This is the beginning of every single order. Once we have the correct material selected, we're able to burn the customer's image onto film and develop it, exposing it into copper, and essentially beginning of design for all boards.
We etch the patterns where we're going to drill holes, as well as the traces that connect to wherever the different components, all the houses and the cities and the retail, right? Think of the components. We route out to where we're going to drill holes.
This is the drill machine. One of its main functions is drilling the through holes once all the layers have been laminated together, right before we go into plating all the holes, which is going to make the connection between each layer.
We cover it with a protective coating called solder mask.
Once we're plated and finished, we're going to put on a layer of protective gold, ENIC, to protect the boards for the customer.
The process behind me is called fabrication, or some people call it route. This is where we are cutting the boards out of the panel. It's the final process before final inspection and shipping product.
This is where I started. I was first hired as a shipping clerk, counting boards, packaging boards, making sure they got to the customer safely.
Yeah, when he was telling me, he's like, I think I can get into engineering. I'm like, yeah, you totally can, because he's very intelligent, very smart. I always say he has a YouTube degree because he can figure out like anything if I asked him just to figure out something small. So yeah, I was very proud of him.
We were in a small little 1-bedroom apartment. It was nerve-wracking because we were having our first baby at the same time. Always check for this and always make sure that the pin gauges are in. To think, okay, I have a job to take care of myself and my wife. Now I have to provide for a child. Where is the triangle? Oh, good job. Where's the rhombus? Good job.
It's hard, balancing the mom life, and now that we're having another, he's been able to work really close to home. Even a book that, you know, you press something and it sings. So it's kind of cool to know, like, oh, there's a little circuit board, like, in pretty much everything.
When I first started back in the 1980s, there was 3,000 PCB manufacturers in North America. We're down to less than 300 because it's moved overseas. We have China and Taiwan, for example. If that were to get hostile where ships could not cross, or even airplanes, we're completely cut off. You can't just simply start up a factory. They're billions of dollars to build.
Some people are born into farming and then that's all they do, and for our family it was electronics. This is one of my favorite photos of Grandpa. Him actually in a board shop.
Correct.
And you can see the old school imaging right here,
Yeah.
right? The little photo plots. Back then in the 50s and 60s and 70s, everything was made here in the States. Everybody had an intercom system phone at their desk, and every single phone was made in an American circuit board shop. It was a niche market, you know, up and coming, and who knew it would explode to everything that we're doing today, right?
Now, this company started out as a pioneer in printed circuits.
The circuit wiring gets painted on with a squeegee. Then the whole thing has to get touched up by hand.
All the electronics that was being produced back then, cell phones and pinball machines and the Nintendos, they all needed electronics, and then even from there, the appliances started putting them in there.
You can see the decline in the 2000s, the drop in the American board shops around, and I really feel it was the internet.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Can you explain what internet is?
In the mid-90s and the early 90s, the internet wasn't a thing. Every major city had about 10 or 15 printed circuit board shops that companies bought from.
It spans the globe like a superhighway. It is called internet.
The internet opened up communication to China, communication all across the world. Once you see the price of what they're charging in these overseas countries, you'd be a fool almost to keep it in stateside.
It's really hard when, you know, I hear that Sean loses a job to China, loses a job to somebody else, India, whoever it may be. I think that that's a really slippery slope.
He wants us to waive the NRE again on Bauer.
How are you feeling about that?
I don't want to keep doing it, especially for 5 to 10 pieces.
Every single thing comes from China. If we do not stay competitive and they've got 100% of the market, we can't get the raw materials.
Boards already came back higher on that one because they changed it up. So there's going to be almost no profit margin on that. No profit, we can't.
Carrie's coming back today, so we'll talk to him about we lost.
At some point, they're going to have to pay the real price.
Right. How can you sell a finished product cheaper than I can buy the materials for? It's got to be subsidized. They literally own the electronics market today.
We've heard about it for years and years, IP being stolen, copied, just because companies are not keeping it safe.
Officials warn China is looking to target critical infrastructure across the country.
Telecommunications going down so people can't use their cell phone. Trains get derailed. Air traffic control system, port control systems are malfunctioning.
Sure, they have to pay a little bit more to have it built here in the United States, but they know that their designs and the end product is going to be safe here.
There was a time, 8 years ago, I gave Sean an ultimatum. I said to Sean, I'm done. I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he said, Dad, give me a chance.
We went from manufacturing circuit boards to doing the circuit board assemblies and doing the circuit board designs. Stuff that had to be kept in America. That IP that everybody wants to keep secret It's in the components and it's in the design itself. What job are you loading up?
We had a good idea that we knew there was a market for it. We knew we had the capabilities to do it. The scary part was really making that investment in all the equipment.
When we switched over to assembly for the first time, we seen a 40% increase in our overall revenue, which was so crucial because we were able to take the few people that were remaining for manufacturing boards and move them over to assembly. And that was a great feeling. It was a great feeling.
You know, I have worked on printed circuit boards since 1979. What I like is the technology is always changing, the job is always changing. It was a proud feeling to know that I came at the beginning of this, that I can see the growth and that I can contribute to it.
Once these generations that manufactured boards are gone, you're gonna have to start from scratch.
Back in the 50s, the United States government stepped in and started promoting this type of education, and it paid off.
We stand today on the edge of a new frontier.
We had satellite systems, we went to the moon, we improved infrastructure. All the benefits that we have reaped for the last 50 years is because of the workforce development that our government stepped in the 50s and pushed that education for science and math.
I'm asking each of you to be pioneers towards that new frontier.
Things are getting faster. Things are getting smaller. Things need to work in a different element, and we need those young minds to come in and lead the way.
You look over the tree line, you'll see all these big cranes. That's where Intel's being built. This road wasn't here, these trees, this whole thing has been completely changed. So this is the Intel plant. This is gonna be the huge chip making factory. You can see all the cranes, all the workers. I mean, I think there are 4 or 5 different building trades out here, pipe fitters, IBEW, electrical workers, iron workers, steel workers. They're all here building this massive plant. It's going to bring the best and brightest talent here to Central Ohio. People to start a new family, to get good paying jobs, to be on the cutting edge of technology and the new manufacturing wave that's the future of our country. You create white-collar jobs and advanced manufacturing jobs, you need the blue-collar union workers to build all those things. I mean, buildings going on everywhere, and the electricians are in high demand.
When I started here in 2020, we had between 400 and 450 members. Right now, we are at about 2,000 members.
Good morning, Benita. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
We've seen a major boom in data center work, and we're on major projects like Amazon, Google. The announcement for Intel was huge for us.
Intel has confirmed plans to create a massive computer chip facility here in Central Ohio.
The worldwide chip shortage. In a report released this week, the Commerce Department warns Congress about potential national security risks linked to the short supply as demand increases.
When I first got the invite, I felt a lot of emotions. I mean, I've been to the White House on a tour, but I've never been to the White House. To get to see our government and work and the business side, if you will, of things. I thought about the work that it was going to create for our members, the work that it was going to create for us. It really brought it to a reality. this is really happening.
With Intel's investment in American production, American workers, with the CHIPS Act, we're putting in place a new pro-American, pro-union industrial policy.
We had, Republicans and Democrats alike on that stage.
Ohioans are the heart of the new Silicon Heartland.
And I thought, this is the way it's supposed to be. All the negative that you hear in Washington, it wasn't there. I looked at it as we were given a gift, a much needed gift to the country, but we were bestowed with it being in our area. How do we do this and not fail?
When I got in, I already had 10 years experience. They just kind of threw you in it and you had to figure it out. The apprenticeship, I actually learned motor controls and the windings and a lot more involved, instrumentation. They say you just need algebra to get in this trade, but when you're doing instrumentation, there's a lot more than just algebra involved.
In the past, I think there was a misconception about the trades, about blue-collar work. Working with your hands, it's not being a doctor or a lawyer, but you can earn 6 figures easily. Electrical work, there's a lot of science involved there. There's a lot of math involved too. Higher math, calculus. If you can take something and show someone how they're actually going to use it and why they're learning it, sometimes it sticks a little bit better.
That site is massive. At first, honestly, I felt lost. Didn't really know which direction to head or anything. There's a big hole in the ground and it was just questions. And now there's a building and sitting on top of it and they're almost connected together. It's going a lot faster and faster. Every time I look at it, I'm impressed that used to be a hole a year ago.
Howdy.
How are you?
Good, how are you guys?
This is your yellow ticket. This is your IBEW member ticket.
The knowledge that people don't have to pack up and leave their families.
Number one, initiation fee.
You can settle in here, you can raise your family, you don't have to leave your parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles or the place that you grew up. We're a part of bringing industry back to the United States, and it's been really incredible to be a part of.
It actually seems like today it's turning back again.
NVIDIA announced plans today to establish over 1 million square feet of manufacturing space in the United States.
Texas Instruments will bring a $60 billion investment across North Texas and beyond.
The CEO of Orbic, maker of electronic devices, is launching a Made in the USA effort.
There is a lot of value in manufacturing products here. Better quality, better control on supply chain, the growing security concerns.
When you're focused on reshoring the things that matter most, automotive, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, robotics, steel, you tend to naturally get a lot of other manufacturing that comes along with it.
There are so many people that still take extreme pride of starting with stacks of copper and stacks of fiberglass and then holding a cell phone in their hand, knowing that that's where it started.
Just knowing like, wow, we built that. It's in my soul.
So much is dependent on a circuit board.
I think this is the last phase of the Industrial Revolution. If we're not at that table, setting the pace and leading the pace, I don't think that we will be able to get it back.